Aaron stood inside the quiet alien room, trying to steady his breathing. Just an hour ago, he had been floating helpless in his escape pod, half conscious and freezing. Then the alien Starship Ariel pulled him in, saving him from certain death. Now he was here, trapped in a strange room with glowing walls and a soft humming sound coming from everywhere. The air felt warm and heavy, almost like it had weight. Blue lights pulsed slowly across the walls, creating moving patterns that felt alive. Aaron had been on alien ships before, but nothing looked like this. Nothing felt like this. It was too calm, too silent, and too gentle, which somehow made it even more frightening. Lyria, the alien girl who rescued him, stood on the other side of the room watching him carefully. Her silver eyes reflected the blue lights like mirrors, and her long, shining hair floated lightly as if the air were water. Her skin gave off a soft glow, making her look both harmless and powerful at the same time. Aaron swallowed hard. He didn't know her species well, only that they were peaceful explorers. But peaceful did not mean predictable, and nothing about this situation felt predictable at all. Then Lyria did something that made Aaron's heart stop without warning. She began removing her clothing piece by piece, moving calmly as if she were doing something completely normal. Aaron's eyes widened, and he turned away so fast he almost fell over. "What are you doing?" he asked with shaking voice. His mind raced in panic. He had heard strange stories about alien cultures, but he never expected this. Lyria tilted her head, confused by his reaction. "In my species, we sleep without clothing when we share a room," she said softly. "It is for warmth and for emotional balance. It means nothing." Aaron stared at the floor and tried to understand her words. To her, this was normal, logical, harmless to him. It was absolutely not normal, not logical, and definitely not harmless. He took a slow breath and looked at her again. Lyria was not flirting, not being strange, not trying anything. She was simply following her culture. But that did not make Aaron any less nervous. I'm human," he said quietly. "In my culture, this is very unusual." Lyria blinked gently, then stepped closer to him. "We rescued you, and now you must rest," she said. "You are safe here." Safe? Aaron wished he could believe that. But the room, the ship, the glowing walls, and Lyria's calm eyes all made him feel the opposite. Still, refusing might insult her, and he didn't want to anger the one person who would save him. So he nodded slowly. Lyria smiled softly and lay down on the floating bed in the center of the room. The bed glowed with pale silver light, forming a smooth surface that adjusted to her shape. She left space beside her for him, waiting patiently. Aaron approached the bed like he was walking toward danger. His hands shook as he climbed onto the surface. The bed reacted instantly, humming gently beneath him and forming around his body. It felt like lying on warm air, soft and weightless. For a moment, things became calm. The humming sound grew softer, the lights dimmed, and Aaron felt his breathing slow down. Maybe he could sleep, just for a moment. Maybe everything would be okay. Then he heard it, a sound, faint but sharp, coming from outside the door. A scraping sound, like metal claws dragging against the floor. Aaron's eyes snapped open, and he sat up quickly. Lyria also lifted her head, her silver eyes narrowing with sudden alertness. "That sound," she whispered. "That is not part of the ship." The scraping came again, louder this time, slow, heavy, dragging. Aaron felt cold fear spreading through his chest. He looked at Lyria, hoping she would explain, but her expression only became more tense. Something thudded against the door, making the lights flicker. Aaron froze, his heart pounding so hard he thought the creature outside might hear it. The soft blue glow on the walls shifted to a darker shade, as if reacting to danger. Lyria stood up slowly, her eyes locked on the door. "Something followed us from the void space," she whispered. "It should not be possible, but it is here." Aaron stared at her, confused and terrified. "What followed us?" he asked. But Lyria did not answer. Her eyes were fixed on the door, as if she could see the creature through the metal. The lights above the door turned red, blinking one after another. That had to be a warning. Then the sound came again, but this time it was not scraping. It was breathing, slow and deep, like a huge animal sniffing the air. It paused right outside their room, as if tasting their presence. Lyria placed one hand on Aaron's arm, her voice barely a whisper. "It is searching for you," she said. "Only you?" Aaron felt his blood go cold. Why him? What did he do? He had never even been near void space before. He was just a human soldier. Nothing special, nothing powerful, nothing worth hunting. The breathing outside the door became louder, heavier, angrier. The red lights flashed faster. The door vibrated like something massive pushed against it. Aaron grabbed the edge of bed, his fingers shaking. The creature let out a low growl that echoed the walls like thunder. Then, slowly, the shadow under the door lifted. Something was rising on the other side, tall, huge, almost touching the ceiling. The entire ship seemed to hold its breath. And then the first crack appeared on the door frame. Something was trying to break in, something strong enough to tear through alien metal like paper. Aaron and Lyria stood side by side, staring as the door bent inward. Whatever waited outside had found them, and it was not going to stop. The metal door continued to bend inward as the creature pushed from the other side. Each impact made the walls tremble, sending ripples of light across the room. Aaron felt the vibration through his bones, and his heart pounded hard against his chest. Lyria stepped in front of him, her glowing skin brightening as she raised her hand toward the door. Suddenly the lights in the room flickered violently, then shut off completely. Darkness swallowed everything, leaving only Lyria's faint silver glow. Aaron held his breath, listening to the creature's slow, angry breathing right outside. Then, as if responding to some silent command, the ship's backup lights flashed purple and the door stopped moving. The growling faded, replaced by deep footsteps walking away down the hallway. Lyria lowered her hand, her shoulders relaxing slightly. "It left for now," she whispered, "but it will return." Aaron exhaled shakily. "What was that thing?" he asked, trying to keep his voice steady. Lyria did not answer immediately, her eyes following the direction the creature had gone. Her silence made Aaron's fear grow stronger. Finally she spoke. "It is a void predator, a creature that feeds on certain types of energy." She turned to him slowly, her voice growing quieter. "And the energy it wants right now is coming from you." Aaron felt the floor tilt under his feet. "Why me?" he asked. "I don't have any alien energy. I'm just human." Lyria looked troubled, like she was trying to solve a puzzle that made no sense. "You absorbed something when you drifted through the damaged warp field," she said. "Humans are not meant to survive that, but you did, and now you carry a trace of void energy inside you." Aaron stepped back, shaking his head. "But I didn't ask for this," he said. "I don't want anything to do with void creatures." Lyria placed a hand on his arm gently. "I know," she whispered, "but the creature will keep tracking you, and if it reaches you again, it will not stop." Before Aaron could respond, the ship's alarms began to sound. A calm, robotic voice echoed through the room. "Warning, threat approaching, emergency landing required." Lights began flashing red all around them, and the ship shook as it changed course. Lyria grabbed Aaron's hand and pulled him toward the door. "We must leave this area," she said quickly. "The creature may try to attack again during landing." Aaron followed her through the dim hallway, his heartbeat matching the distant thudding of the alarms. The shadows around them flickered as lights struggled to stay on. Every sound made him think the creature had returned, and every dark corner felt like a trap. They reached the control deck where the captain, another glowing alien, stood at the center surrounded by floating screens. "We are landing on the nearest safe planet," the captain said, "or at least the nearest uninhabited one." Aaron's stomach tightened as he looked through the window. A dark planet filled the view, covered in storm clouds and strange violet lightning. Nothing about it looked safe. Lyria followed his gaze, her expression unreadable. As the ship descended, Aaron noticed something strange. Lyria's breathing became shallow, her hands trembling slightly. Her glowing skin began dim as they approached the planet's surface. "Are you okay?" Aaron asked, stepping closer. Lyria gave a weak nod but didn't speak. Her eyes stayed locked on the planet, as if she recognized it, as if she feared it. The ship landed with a heavy thud, dust rising around them. The alarms turned off, and for a moment the only sound was the sound from the ship cooling down. Then the captain spoke again. "We cannot stay in the open. If the void predator lands nearby, we will all be in danger." Lyria finally found her voice, though it was soft and strained. "There's an ancient ruin near here," she said. "We can hide there, and its energy field may confuse the creature." The captain hesitated, but nodded. "Take the human and go. Find safety." Aaron frowned. "Why only me?" he asked. The captain looked at him with serious eyes. "Because a creature is hunting you. If you stay on the ship, it will come for us too." Aaron felt guilt and fear squeeze his chest. He didn't want anyone to die because of him. He nodded and followed Lyria toward the exit ramp. The planet's air hit him like a cold wave. The sky was dark purple, filled with slow-moving clouds crackling with silent lightning. The ground was covered in black dust that shifted under their feet like ash. Aaron looked around uneasily. "This place looks dead," he whispered. Lyria didn't reply. She stared at a distant structure rising from the ground like a broken tower. "That," she said quietly, "that is where we must go." As they walked, Aaron noticed something chilling. The closer they got to the ruins, the quieter Lyria became. Her glow dimmed further, and her steps slowed. It was like the planet was draining her strength. "Lyria, are you sure you're okay?" he asked again. Her voice cracked as she answered. "This was once the home of my ancestors, but something terrible happened here long ago." Aaron's skin prickled. "What happened?" he asked. Lyria looked at the ruins with sorrow in her eyes. "My people never speak of it. Only the elders know the truth." As they reached the entrance, Aaron touched one of the ancient stones. The moment his hand made contact, symbols carved into the stone lit up with bright blue light. Lyria gasped and stumbled backward. "That should not happen," she whispered. "No human should be able to activate our ancient structures." Aaron stared at his glowing hand, feeling a strange warmth spreading through it. "What does this mean?" he asked. Lyria stepped closer, fear mixing with awe in her eyes. "It means the planet recognizes you," she said in a trembling voice. "And if the planet recognizes you, then the Void Predator will sense you even more strongly." A sudden roar echoed through the sky above them. Aaron's blood ran cold. Lyria grabbed his hand tightly, her eyes wide. "It has found us," she whispered. The roar above them shook the air like thunder. Aaron felt the ground tremble beneath his feet as dust fell from the top of the ancient ruins. Lyria tightened her grip on his hand, pulling him deeper into the stone passageway. Her glowing skin flickered weakly, as if the planet itself was draining her strength with every step. The sky outside flashed with violet lightning. A shadow swept across the clouds, huge and terrifying. The Void Predator was circling the ruins, searching with unnatural hunger. Its roar echoed again, louder this time, sending a wave of pressure through the air that made Aaron's ears ring. Lyria led Aaron down the crumbling steps into a wide underground chamber. The walls were covered with ancient symbols, glowing faintly in shades of blue and gold. Aaron's gaze drifted across them, and without meaning to, he reached out and touched one of the symbols. The entire chamber responded instantly. Light rushed through the walls like rivers of energy, filling the room with a sudden bright glow. Lyria gasped, stepping back as if struck. "Aaron, don't touch anything," she whispered sharply. "This place is reacting to you in a way I do not understand." Aaron pulled his hand away quickly. "I didn't mean to," he said breathlessly. His fingertips felt warm, almost burning. It was the same strange warmth he felt earlier when the Predator had been outside the room on the ship. The ground above shook again, dust falling from the ceiling. The Predator was getting closer. Aaron could feel its presence, as if something inside him was pulling toward it, like a magnet slowly dragging metal toward its surface. "What is happening to me?" Aaron asked, fear rising in his chest. "Why does this place react to me? Why does that thing want me?" Lyria looked at him with a troubled expression. Her voice shook as she spoke. "My ancestors believed that certain humans carried a dormant spark, a spark that was connected to ancient energy left behind in the universe." Aaron blinked, confused. "A spark," he repeated. "I'm just a normal human." Lyria shook her head slowly. "Normal humans do not survive void radiation," she said softly. "Normal humans do not activate ancient ruins that only my people could use." Her eyes drifted to his hand again. "And normal humans are not hunted by void predators with such obsession." A deep boom echoed from above. "The creature is trying to break into the ruins," Lyria said urgently. "We need to go deeper. The old energy fields may confuse it." Aaron nodded, though his heart pounded so hard it hurt. Together they moved through the chamber, stepping into a narrower corridor filled with dust and broken stone. The deeper they went, the colder the air became. Their breaths turned into fog as they walked. Lyria's glow grew dimmer, though her eyes shone with determination. After several minutes, they reached another chamber, circular and huge. In the center was a floating stone platform covered in ancient markings. Aaron took one step toward it, and the markings lit up instantly. Blue sparks rose from the platform like tiny stars, swirling around him. Lyria stared, disbelief written across her face. "This is impossible," she whispered. "This platform only responds to the bloodline of the ancient keepers." Aaron swallowed hard. "I don't even know what that means," he said, "but something in this place feels familiar, like I've seen it in dreams." Lyria approached him slowly, her silver eyes wide. "If this ruin accepts you," she said, her voice trembling, "then you may have a power the Void Predator desires." The chamber suddenly shook again, the sound booming through the stone like a distant explosion. A distant roar followed, muffled but close enough to send chills through Aaron's body. The Predator was definitely inside the ruins now. Its footsteps echoed to the halls, growing louder with every second. Aaron looked around desperately. "Lyria, what do I do?" he asked. "I don't know how to use this ancient stuff." Lyria reached toward the swirling blue sparks around him. Her hand passed through the lights as if they were alive but harmless. Then the sparks reacted, spinning faster and gathering into a single glowing mark on Aaron's chest. The light settled into the shape of a curved symbol, bright and pulsing. Aaron gasped as warmth spread through his entire body. It felt like a fire burning under his skin, but not painful, more like pure energy flowing into him. He grabbed his chest, feeling the heartbeat beneath the glowing mark. Lyria stepped back, her voice shaking. "That symbol," she whispered, "it is a mark of the human keeper, a guardian chosen by ancient prophecy." Aaron shook his head furiously. No, I'm not some chosen guardian. I'm just a soldier who got unlucky." Lyria opened her mouth to answer, but the chamber lights suddenly dimmed. A heavy breath filled the air. Deep and terrible, Aaron froze. Lyria's eyes widened in fear. Slowly, the temperature dropped even further. A shadow stretched across the entrance of the chamber, massive and twisted. The Void Predator had found them. Its glowing red eyes stared directly at Aaron, not at Lyria, not at the ruins, only at him. It took one step into the chamber, its claws scraping against the floor. The ground cracked where it stepped. Its mouth opened slowly, revealing rows of razor-sharp teeth. A low, rumbling growl filled the chamber like thunder trapped in a cave. Aaron felt his knees weaken, fear wrapping around his chest like iron chains. But the glowing mark on his chest pulsed brightly. The Predator growled louder, reacting to the light as if enraged. Lyria stepped between Aaron and the creature, her voice trembling but strong. "You cannot have him," she said. "He is under my protection." The creature roared so loudly the entire chamber shook. Stone crumbled from the ceiling as cracks raced across the walls. Aaron felt the energy in his chest flare again, stronger this time. The blue symbol glowed so brightly that it lit the entire room. The Predator recoiled, shrieking in pain. Its shadow twisted, shrinking away from the light. Aaron clutched his chest, confused and terrified. "Lyria, what is happening to me?" he shouted. Lyria looked back at him with fear and awe. "The mark is awakening," she whispered, "and whatever power it holds, it is only beginning." The Predator lunged forward with blinding speed. Aaron raised his glowing hand instinctively. The chamber burst with blue light, and the blue light exploded from Aaron's hand like a wave of living fire. The entire chamber lit up as if a sun had ignited inside the ruins. The Void Predator shrieked and threw its massive body backward, the blast slamming it into the far wall. Cracks spread across the stone like lightning, dust raining down from the ceiling. Aaron staggered, breathing hard. He stared at his own glowing hand, unable to understand what it had just done. His skin shone with blue energy pulsing like a heartbeat. His whole body felt light, powerful, and terrifyingly different. Lyria ran to him, her voice filled with both fear and awe. "Aaron, the mark is awake," she whispered. "You are using Keeper energy." Aaron shook his head, stepping back from her. "I don't know how I did that," he said in shock. "It just happened." Another roar ripped through the chamber, deeper and angrier than before. The Void Predator rose again, shaking dust from its body. Its red eyes burned with hatred as it stared at Aaron. The creature's dark skin absorbed the surrounding shadows, making it look like a monster carved from the night itself. It lunged, Faster than before, its claws tearing to the ancient floor. Aaron raised his hand again, but this time no blue energy came. Lyria grabbed his arm and pulled him aside just in time. The predator's strike shattered the stone platform behind them. Aaron fell to the ground, rolling to avoid another swipe. His chest burned with heat from the mark, but the power didn't return. He felt empty, like the burst of light had drained him. The predator growled, sensing his weakness, and moved closer. Lyria stepped in front of Aaron, her glowing body forming a weak barrier. "You cannot take him," she said, her voice trembling yet strong. But the predator didn't slow down. It swung a massive claw at her, striking her across the chest and sending her crashing into the wall. Aaron's heart stopped. "Lyria," he shouted, rushing to her side. She groaned, her glowing skin dimming dangerously. Her breathing slowed, the planet draining her strength even more. The predator turned back toward Aaron, hungry and certain of victory. It stepped forward slowly, savoring the moment. Its shadow stretched over him like darkness swallowing light. Aaron clenched his fists, anger rising inside him. He refused to watch someone die because of him. Not Lyria, not after she saved him again and again. His chest burned hotter, his heartbeat pounding like war drums. The mark on his chest pulsed once. Then again, warmth surged through him, spreading from his heart to his arms and then to his hands. The blue energy returned, swirling around him like glowing smoke. He looked up at the predator, fear replaced by something new, determination. The creature roared and leaped toward him, claws aimed for his throat. Aaron thrust his hand forward, releasing a second wave of blue light. It was weaker than the first, but still powerful enough to blast the predator sideways. The creature hit the ground hard, sliding across the stone and smashing into a pillar at the far end of the chamber. Aaron gasped and fell to one knee. The energy drained from him instantly. He felt dizzy, exhausted, and barely able to breathe. Lyria pushed herself up slowly, pain in her eyes. "You cannot keep using that power," she said weakly. "Your human body is not ready for it." Aaron wiped sweat from his forehead. "I don't have a choice," he said, trying to stand. "It wants me, and if I don't fight, it will kill both of us." The predator rose again with a furious scream. Its body twisted, its shadow stretching unnaturally as if absorbing the darkness around it. Its wounds closed slowly, healed by the void energy inside its body. It was getting stronger, more desperate, more angry. Lyria looked around the chamber urgently. "There must be a way to weaken it," she whispered. "These ruins were built by my ancestors to protect against void creatures." Aaron stared at the glowing symbols on the walls. "They reacted to me earlier," he said. "What if they can help us again?" Lyria's eyes widened. "Yes, if you activate the inner seal, it may trap the creature." The predator roared again, stepping forward with heavy, shaking footsteps. Aaron rushed to the wall, placing his hand on one of the glowing symbols. The stone lit up instantly, brighter than before. Another symbol glowed behind him. Then another, one by one. The entire chamber began to shine with blue light. The predator screeched in rage and charged toward him. Aaron pressed his palm harder, hoping the ruins would respond. Energy flowed through the walls, gathering in the center of the chamber. Lyria shouted over the rumbling stone, "Aaron, the seal is activating." A pillar of blue light rose from the center of the ruins, swirling upward like a tornado made of pure energy. The predator lunged at Aaron in one final desperate attack. Aaron jumped aside as the creature entered the swirling blue light. The trap snapped shut instantly. The swirling energy wrapped around the void predator like chains, holding it in midair. The creature screamed, twisting violently, but the ancient seal held firm. Its body began to dissolve into black smoke, pulled into the glowing vortex. Piece by piece, the void predator disappeared inside the seal, until finally, only silence remained. Aaron sank to the ground, exhausted beyond words. His chest hurt, his breathing was shallow, and his hands trembled uncontrollably. Lyria crawled beside him and placed a shaking hand on his shoulder. "You did it," she whispered. "You activated a keeper seal." Aaron shook his head weakly. "I don't understand any of this," he said. "I'm not a keeper. I'm not chosen. I'm just me." Lyria looked at him with soft eyes. "Maybe you are more than you believe," she whispered. "Maybe something inside you has been waiting to awaken." Before Aaron could answer, the chamber lights flickered, the blue symbols dimmed, and the ancient ruins began shaking violently. The ground cracked beneath them, stone breaking apart. Lyria's eyes widened in fear. Aaron, the seal was unstable, she said. The ruins cannot handle this much energy. The ceiling split open above them, dust and stone falling like rain. Aaron forced himself to stand, grabbing Lyria's arm. "We need to get out of here," he said. "Now." But as they ran toward the exit, a deep rumbling sound rose from beneath the ruins, a sound that did not belong to stone or collapsing walls, a sound that felt alive, a sound that whispered from the darkness itself. Another presence was awakening below them, something older, something stronger, something that recognized a mark on Aaron's chest, and it was calling to him. Clash between ancient power and endless darkness began. The research base entered a silent night shift, but inside Ethan's mind there was no night, no peace, only questions and danger pressing like a weight on his chest. The message from Dr. Rana kept repeating in his head, warning him about the awakening. He walked down the metal corridor, cold lights flickering above him. Every shadow felt alive. Every sound felt wrong. Vera followed him closely. She walked with calm steps. But Ethan noticed something in her eyes, a soft fear she was trying to hide. Her species did not fear easily, and that scared Ethan even more. She was trying to protect him, without letting him know he needed protection. They stopped near the glass chamber, where Vera had been sleeping before Ethan found her on day one. The chamber was cracked now, sparks around the edges, as if something powerful had broken out from inside. Ethan studied the cracks, tracing them with his hand. "Vera, this didn't break from the outside," he whispered. "It broke from your side." Vera lowered her head. "Yes, I woke early. Too early." The process was not complete. "What process?" Ethan asked. She didn't answer. Instead, she placed her palm on the glass. The chamber reacted, glowing with dark blue light. Ethan stepped back. A soft hum vibrated through the metal floor. The lights overhead dimmed. A cold breeze swept through the hall. "Vera, what is happening?" She spoke without looking at him. "This base is not a base. It is a pod, a seed, and it is about to open." Ethan froze. "Open? Into what?" "The truth," Vera said quietly. "And maybe death." Before Ethan could speak, alarms erupted across the facility. Metal shutters locked down hallway by hallway. Red lights turned the entire chamber area into a warning zone. Then a voice echoed from every speaker. "Containment failure. Phase 0 activated." Ethan felt his heartbeat spike. "Phase 0? What does that mean?" Vera finally turned toward him. For the first time since he met her, he saw panic. "It means they found us," she said. "And they want you." "Me? Why me?" "Because you are human," she said. "And humans can survive what my species cannot." Before Ethan could process her answer, the floor shook violently. Pipes burst open overhead and steam washed over them. The sound of heavy machinery unlocking echoed through the structure. Something was waking up beneath them. Something massive. Vera grabbed his arm. "We must move." They ran through the hallway, stepping over broken panels and sparking wires. Every few seconds, the ground trembled as if something big was climbing upward from deep underground. "Vera, what is waking up?" he shouted. She answered while running. "A guardian." "A guardian of what?" "Of the seed," she said. "Of me." Another tremor nearly threw Ethan to the floor. Ahead of them, a large door slid open by itself. Behind it was darkness, deep, thick darkness. For a moment, Ethan felt the air turn warm, like breath. Not mechanical, not natural. Something alive was in there. Vera stood tall, shoulders tense. "Stay behind me." "No," Ethan said. "Tell me what is going on first. I need to know." Vera looked into the darkness. Then she whispered, "My species places their chosen protector in hibernation with the one they trust. It is normal for us. We sleep together for safety, not for attraction." Ethan swallowed. "But you said it meant nothing to your people." "Yes," she said, "but to the Guardian it means everything." Ethan felt the cold realization spread across his skin. You mean it thinks I'm your mate? Vera slowly nodded. Yes, and guardians destroy anything that threatens their bonded one. Even the bonded one's chosen companion. Ethan's stomach dropped. So this thing wants to kill me? Before Vera could answer, a huge claw reached out of the darkness, scraping along the metal floor. The shadows shifted. A massive outline appeared. Muscles, armor-like skin, burning eyes. A deep growl rolled across the hallway. Vera stepped forward, spreading her arms protectively in front of Ethan. Guardian, stand down, she commanded. The creature paused, then roared with enough force to shake dust from the ceiling. Ethan covered his ears. Vera tightened her stance. The Guardian charged forward, and in that final second, Ethan understood the only one who could stop it was him, and he had no idea why. The Guardian stormed forward with thunderous steps, each impact shaking the floor like a living earthquake. Ethan felt the vibration through his bones. Vera held her ground, but even she seemed smaller now, standing before something built for war. The Guardian's burning eyes locked on Ethan, not on Vera. Only him. Ethan felt cold fear crawl through his chest. Vera, it wants me. Yes, she said, voice tense. Because it thinks you claimed me during my early awakening. I didn't claim you. Ethan shouted. To humans, no. Vera replied. To my species, yes. The Guardian roared again, louder, angrier, as if every second Ethan stayed alive was an insult to its purpose. It lowered its enormous head, preparing to charge again. Vera stepped back toward Ethan, placing a hand on his chest. You must run. No, Ethan said, shaking his head. I can't leave you. You must, she insisted. If it kills you, I will follow soon after. Guardians destroy the Protector's chosen one if they fail to keep them safe. Ethan stared at her. So if I die, you die. Yes. The Guardian lunged. Vera shoved Ethan aside, pushing him through the side corridor. Metal claws slammed into the wall, where Ethan had been standing only a second earlier. The whole structure dented inward, sparks raining down like falling stars. Ethan rolled across the floor and scrambled to his feet. Vera, go! She shouted, blocking the Guardian's next strike with unbelievable speed. Ethan hesitated, just long enough to see something he should never have seen. When the Guardian's claws slashed across Vera's arm, instead of blood, glowing silver liquid dripped out, spreading across the floor in bright streaks. She didn't scream. She didn't slow down. Her body began to shift, muscles tightening, skin glowing faintly, movements becoming sharper. Vera, were you? Ethan whispered. She didn't answer. She couldn't. The Guardian attacked again. Vera hit the creature with a force that cracked part of its armored chest. The shockwave blew dust down the hallway. Ethan could only watch as two beings older than human history collided again and again. He backed away slowly. If he stayed, Vera would split her focus, and that would kill both of them. He turned and ran down the corridor. Behind him, the Guardian roared. Metal shattered. Vera screamed his name, but not in fear, in warning. Ethan sprinted into the darkness. The alarms flickered. The hallway lights blinked on and off. Doors opened and closed as the system malfunctioned under the strain of battle. Just as he reached the next junction, a hologram flickered into the air. Dr. Rana. Her face was calm, too calm. I see you survived longer than expected, Ethan. What is happening? Ethan shouted. Why is this thing after me? Dr. Rana's hologram tilted her head. You misunderstand. The Guardian is not here to kill you. It is here to test you. Test me? What kind of test tries to tear me in half? A test of instinct, she said. Of fear. Of connection. Ethan shook his head in confusion. I don't understand. You will, she replied, if you live long enough. A deep crash echoed from behind him. Something big slammed into a wall. The lights flickered red. Vera screamed, short, sharp, painful. Ethan froze. Dr. Rana's hologram watched him with cold eyes. You have a decision to make now. What decision? Ethan demanded. Go forward and save yourself, she said. Or go back and save her. Ethan felt his heart pound inside his chest. The metal corridor suddenly felt too small, the alarms too loud, the choice too heavy. He looked toward the path ahead, dark, unknown, dangerous. He looked back toward Vera, back to the only person in this alien world who had protected him again and again. Then he whispered to himself, "I'm not leaving her." He turned around and ran back into the danger, back toward the roars, back toward the Guardian, back toward Vera. And he didn't know it yet, but someone else was watching him, someone waking inside the seed, someone who had been waiting for the moment he made this choice. Ethan ran back toward the battle, his breath sharp, his heart beating like a drum inside his chest. Every step brought him closer to the sound of metal breaking, claws scraping, and Vera's strained cries. The hallway shook from the impact of two powerful beings clashing again and again. When he reached the chamber, he froze. The Guardian had Vera pinned against the wall, its massive claw pressing against her shoulder. Sparks exploded around them. Vera pushed back, but she was weakening. Silver blood dripped down her arm and onto the floor, glowing brighter with every drop. "Vera!" Ethan shouted. The Guardian's head snapped toward him, its burning eyes focused on Ethan with new intensity, as if recognizing something important. It released Vera and stepped forward, blocking the entire hallway with its enormous body. Ethan felt fear climb up his spine, but he didn't run. He stood tall. "I'm not your enemy," he said slowly. "I'm here to protect her, just like you." The Guardian growled low, testing his courage. Ethan didn't move. Behind him, the facility lights flickered, then shifted from red to white. A deeper hum filled the air, vibrating through the walls. The seed was awakening. The entire structure felt alive now, like a heartbeat pulsing all around him. Vera pushed herself off the wall, weak but determined. Ethan stepped back. "No," Ethan said. "I'm ending this." The Guardian stepped closer until its huge shadow covered Ethan completely. It lowered its head, sniffing the air around him. Ethan could feel his hot breath on his skin. One wrong move, and he would die instantly. But he didn't flinch. He reached out his hand and placed it on the Guardian's armored chest. The creature tensed, growled, then went still. A deep echo spread through the chamber as the Guardian slowly knelt before Ethan. Vera stared in shock. "It accepted you," she whispered. "It has chosen you." Ethan blinked. "Chosen me for what?" To complete the awakening, a new voice answered. A bright figure walked out from the seed's core chamber. Tall, graceful, glowing with silver light. It was another of Vera's species, but older, wiser, powerful in a way that felt ancient. Her voice was calm and warm. "Human Ethan, you have passed the Guardian's trial. You showed courage, loyalty, and self-sacrifice, traits rare even among our people." Ethan tried to speak, but his throat felt tight. "I just did what anyone would do." "No," the glowing woman said. "Only one human would do this for Vera, and now everything changes." She looked at Vera, who lowered her head respectfully. "Vera, the seed bonds have chosen him." Ethan frowned. "What does that mean?" Vera stepped toward him, her voice soft. "It means you are now connected to us. To me, to the Guardian, to the seed." Ethan swallowed. "Connected how?" Vera placed her hand on his chest. A warm light spread across his skin, sinking deep inside, like energy touching his heart. "You are the first human in history to survive the bond," she whispered. "You are now part of our future." The glowing woman raised her hand, and the seed's walls shifted, opening like a living organism. A bright path appeared, leading into a massive chamber filled with shining branches and flowing liquid light. "This is our ship," she said. "And Ethan, you may choose to return to your world." Ethan looked at the portal behind him, leading back to Earth. Dark, quiet, lonely. Or you may choose to stay with Vera, to travel with us, to help rebuild what we lost. Ethan looked at Vera. She looked back at him with calm eyes, full of the trust he had never seen in anyone before. "Whatever you choose," she said softly, "I stay with you." For the first time since the beginning of the nightmare, Ethan felt his fear fade. His choice was clear. He reached out and took Vera's hand. "I'm staying," he said. With you. The seed chamber glowed brighter. The Guardian roared proudly, and the ancient ship began to rise, lifting them into a future none of them fully understood. But Ethan knew one thing. He was no longer alone. He was no longer just human. He was part of something bigger, something he chose for himself.